Call to order the special meeting of the Dickinson City Commission for June 23rd of 2020. Let the record show that we have 3 commissioners seated, and we will be welcoming 2 new commission members this evening upon the oath of office. There will be, the order of business is up. Generally at special meetings there are no changes to the order of business. Mrs. Carlson, are there any things that you wish to discuss about the order of business, or commissioners?
President Decker and commissioners, no, we are just going to go right down the row with it, and then under budget workshop dates, there's other financial things that we'll be going over under the budget workshop dates.
Okay, I'd look for a motion to approve the order of business.
So move.
I have a motion by Commissioner Frederick to approve the order of business.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Walla. All in favor of the motion state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Order of business is approved. First item on the agenda is the administration of oath. Ms. Carlson will join me at the podium.
Okay, the oath of office. All right. Raise your right hand. I, say your name, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
I, Scott Decker, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of North Dakota,
the Constitution of the State of North Dakota,
uphold the Home Charter Municipal Code of the City of Dickinson, North Dakota,
uphold the Home Charter Municipal Code of the City of Dickinson, North Dakota,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office as President of City Commission
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office as President of the City Commission
in the City of Dickinson, Stark County, North Dakota,
in the City of Dickinson, Stark County, North Dakota,
according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
I hereby further solemnly swear
I hereby further solemnly swear
that I am not under any direct or indirect obligation
that I'm not under any direct or indirect obligation
to appoint or hire any person to any position with the City of Dickinson, North Dakota,
to appoint or hire any person to any position with the City of Dickinson, North Dakota. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I will call our newest commission members. Mrs. Sobeluk, will you please come forward? Raise your right hand. I state your name, do solemnly swear
I, Susie Sobolik, do solemnly swear that I will support the
Constitution of the United States,
Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of North Dakota,
the Constitution of the State of North Dakota,
uphold the Home Charter Municipal Code of the City of Dickinson,
uphold the Home Charter Municipal Code of the City of Dickinson,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of City Commissioner
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of City Commissioner
in the City of Dickinson, Stark County, North Dakota, according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
in the City of Dickinson, Stark County, North Dakota, according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
I hereby further solemnly swear
I hereby further solemnly swear
that I am not under any direct or indirect obligation to appoint
that I am not under any direct or indirect obligation to appoint
or hire any person to any position with the City of Dickinson, North Dakota.
or hire any person to any position with the City of Dickinson, North Dakota.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
John? John? I state your name, do solemnly swear
I, John Oderman, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of North Dakota,
the Constitution of the State of North Dakota,
uphold the Home Charter Municipal Code of the City of Dickinson,
uphold the Home Charter Municipal Code of the City of Dickinson,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of City Commissioner
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of City Commissioner
in the City of Dickinson, Stark County,
in the City of Dickinson, Stark County,
North Dakota, according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
North Dakota, according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
I hereby solemnly swear that I am not under any direct or indirect
I hereby further solemnly swear that I am not under any direct or indirect
obligation to appoint or hire
obligation to appoint or hire
any person to any position with the City of Dickinson, North Dakota.
any person to any position with the City of Dickinson, North Dakota.
Welcome aboard. Congratulations. So, right into the fire. We will begin with the appointment of the vice president, and our acting city administrator, Mrs. Carlson, will explain the process.
Thank you, President Decker and Commissioners. Beside you or somewhere on there, you have a small piece of paper. And there you go, that's what it is. Please write down who you would appoint as the vice president, and then we will collect them and then give you the results.
I think in the past we had taken a nomination if there was a nomination.
We did that 2 years ago, and last year we did by ballots. And
I
then,
think we needed to nominate somebody first if there was going to be a vote, because if we only have one nomination, then
it's totally up to you how you want to do this.
I guess I'd look to see if there was a nomination, if anybody was willing to nominate anybody as the vice president. So. We have a nomination, a motion or nomination for Commissioner Frederick to remain as the vice president.
I can second that motion.
Okay. Is there any other nominations? Anyone willing to nominate anyone else? We only have one nomination, I guess.
Go ahead.
We
You
can,
can just do the vote then and go that way if you want to. You can use it for scratch.
and we can, but, so we have the nomination in a second, and I guess I will then take a vote. Since we don't have anyone else, I know in the past we had two people for the position, so we took a ballot vote. So what we'll do is, all in favor of the motion as presented for Commissioner Frederick to remain as the vice president, state aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Frederick, welcome back aboard as the vice president.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. Now we'll move into assistant, I keep calling you assistant, but you're the acting city administrator. Carlson, we will go over the discussion of committee assignments. And before you'll see a sheet of the various committees that we as commissioners sit on. And I would have you look down by your name, especially the new commissioners, and see if there are any committees that are on there that you feel there would be a conflict of interest or something that you would not
Prefer not to.
prefer not to be on, if there is something.
Or you could go the other way too.
Right.
As President Decker stated, these are the appointments that myself and Rita went through, and we put everything on there that we could think of that would involve a city commissioner. And with that, we don't know if there would be any conflict, as President Decker said, or if there's something that you were looking at specifically, or if you might be on a board or something. We just need to make sure that we do not have more than only two at the meeting. So that's where we need you to look at that, and we're up for any suggestions. It is open for discussion.
I do have two suggestions on here. I have sat on the airport board for the past 6 years.
Okay.
And I think it would be, would benefit the commission if we have another member or a new member replace me, so they also can get the knowledge of what is happening at the airport in that process. And I would also like to, because I know this question came up, Commissioner Walla her new assignment will be to the Stark County Planning and Zoning. I've also been on that for the last 4 years, and I think if between the two new commissioners, if one would take the airport authority and another one would take the Stark County Planning and Zoning, they're willing to do that. Because I think it broadens their experience and their knowledge base of what's happening within the community. So
I'd be willing to take.
on the end.
I'd be willing to take whichever one Susie doesn't want.
I was hoping you had a great idea down there.
You know, I really enjoyed attending those airport authority meetings when I was working at the press. I'd love to serve on the airport in that capacity. So,
I'm okay with that.
And then,
I would do Stark County Planning and Zoning then?
yes.
Okay.
And that gives almost all the commissioners, because with the airport authority, they deal with a lot of zoning issues without there. So I think it's good experience across the board for all commissioners to sit on that, those planning and zoning. And then I think within a year or so, we'll look at the city planning and zoning. I know the requirement I'm a non-voting member that has to sit on it, but Commissioner Frederick has sat on that board for many years, and maybe we can look at rotating even some of these other ones, just to give everybody a little bit more knowledge across the board to what's happening within the city. I think we get locked in sometimes into our positions, and it's good. There's two other ones on there. Mrs. Carlson and I were talking about, we have community action on there now. And we also have a contract with Sunrise Youth Bureau. And we have no commissioners that sit on either one of those. So, I guess that could be up for if any commissioner would be interested in either one of those. I do see on here too, the government affairs. I know they have Commissioners Sobeluk on there. Government relations, community relations, and I do attend that on a regular basis. So if we want to, if she would like to sit on one of the other two, I'm fine in continuing on in that role at the government relations one.
Is that the one at the chamber?
Yeah,
And I think John serves on
I'm
that
actually the
currently.
chairman of that for the chamber
Right,
board.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, I would, I don't know, Community Action or Sunrise Youth, I could take either one. I don't have a strong knowledge of either, so I'm okay with.
And Commissioner Waller or Vice President Frederick, if either one if you wish to.
I can sit on community action.
Okay.
That's fine.
We'll
So,
have Commissioner
Do we-
Frederick on the community action, and Commissioner Sobeluk on Sunrise Youth Bureau. And I'll continue to go to the government relations, so. Are there any other ones you wish to discuss?
And the pension would just be if you can't make it, right? for me?
Right, then you fill.
Okay.
Yeah, you fill.
Because I remember coming to that one quite a bit, but.
President Decker, government relations, is Susie gonna be on it still though, or off? Will she continue to go to that?
No, I think she'll be off and then fill in on John is gonna go in his role as leading it right now, and then I'll continue, and then she can go, you can take that one off. for her. And then she'll pick up Sunrise, right? Sunrise, yeah,
Yeah.
she's got Sunrise. Are there any other ones that you wish to discuss? Like I said, I think we should address this again in a year, or we definitely will address it in 2 years when there's another election, so.
Correct.
Yeah. And maybe we'll shake it up a little bit more then, so. Any other questions? Anything they feel they can't make? Some of these only meet once a year, you can see.
No, Mr. President, in the event that there's, only one commissioner representing us on these, do we have the ability, are we welcome at these meetings to attend if we want as commissioners?
I think so. I don't think there's
Okay.
any conflict. I mean, as long as we don't have a quorum, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so, yeah. You got that kind of time,
Not sure I do, but in the event that I would, yeah.
so. But, yeah, I've been invited before to start development meetings, and then because we did have 2 people there, one of those people had to leave because they had invited me there, so we wouldn't have a quorum. So, that's fine. And Rotary, if there's multiple commissioners at Rotary, there's Mrs. Winkle, there's a clause in the meeting law, something, a public event like that, like Rotary, does not count if there's 3 commissioners sitting there.
Correct. There are certain exceptions to the open meetings requirements.
Right.
Certain educational events would not qualify in that regard.
Another one is Southwest Night with the legislature. We generally, all of us are there, but, or everybody that can make it are there, so we're not there as a commission necessarily. We're there representing all of Southwest North Dakota, so. But if there's any other comments, questions on here?
Were we gonna put some commissioners on the DID? We just talked about that, didn't we not?
Well,
The-
question.
Task force,
The DID board.
the DID, well, Chief Dossinger is on the DDA board. I had DID there, but we don't have anything on the DID board, but we could add it. Because we have you and Commissioner Walla
But-
on our task force right now.
And I'd be interested in that one if we are good, or if we are going to have a representative on that one. But
On the DID or DDA? That's
Which one is it again?
DDA is our task force, DID is Christy Schwartz.
Yeah, which one did we just talk
The
about? That we
DID
were gonna have 2 commissioners sit on.
That's task force.
And that's-
DID is the 501(c). They're the ones that can gather up the capital campaign. DDA is the one that puts on the events and
I
manages
mean, I
the
think we
events.
should have those on here. I mean,
Yeah, so we have the Dickinson Downtown Task Force, it's
Which
like
you-
number 4,
That's you and Commissioner Walla.
right?
Are you thinking having one of
Oh.
us be on that as well?
On the DID.
because there's the Downtown Dickinson Association and then the Downtown Improvement District, correct?
Correct,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, they separated themselves, that's correct.
And I think in the past on the DID, it's just been Chief Dossinger and sometimes Walter Hadley has been there.
On the DDA board.
DDA. So on
Correct.
DID, there's,
There's nobody.
I'm not aware of any city representation there.
Nope, no city. But they're tied together. I mean, they're in our DDA task force too. We've mingled them both together,
okay.
so.
okay, so we have the ability to cover down with 2 commissioners on those. You and Commissioner Walla. So,
That's fine.
And then 2 staff are on there also.
okay, any other discussion? And I think with this, we don't have to have a motion to approve the assignments. I don't think we ever have in the past, but.
Mr. President, Commissioners, I don't think that's necessary, especially if you haven't done it in the past.
So I'm sure you'll start getting reminders. Rita, you'll send out updates to these boards and committees, and so they know who to send their emails and correspondence to, so.
Mr. President, I have one more thing. So I was on the Southwest North Dakota Museum Foundation, and then we have the Stark County Historical Society right after that. And you have me on the first one and Susie, Commissioner Sobeluk on the next one. Do you want me to maintain both?
I didn't know they combined.
Yeah.
So, that's,
Well, they didn't
I feel
combine,
that
but we
that's
hold them
okay,
at the
just,
same time, and that's just how it
They're right after each other.
okay, I'm fine with that if you're okay with that, and then take Susie off, unless she wants to be a part of it.
It's up to you.
Because there's only one commissioner on the museum board with Stark County Historical Society. Totally up to
Yeah, I
you
wouldn't mind being
commissioners.
on that one also.
So we'll just put you, and I'll just, when we redo this, we'll tie those two together.
Okay.
You know, make sure that they're on the same time.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? All right, we'll move along then to the budget workshop dates. Mrs. Carlson?
Thank you. This is the fun stuff. You have a calendar in front of you, commissioners. These are not the dates that we're all going to meet. These are the dates that are available. And at this time, for my agenda, I need 4 separate half-days. So I need you to kind of look at what kind of a calendar you have, or what kind of availability you have. And I did put down, like July 7th. Not sure you want to do a budget work session before the actual commission meeting, but sometimes in the past, it was nice to have it all in one day and they didn't have to miss work and stuff. So what I'm looking for is your appointment of what you would like to have done. And just to give you some update here on the budget stuff, the new Commissioner Oderman and Commissioner Sobeluk, you received the 2020 budget book. And then I have also given all the commissioners this book that is put out by Scott Wagner, who is our bond counsel. And this is updated since the last legislation. So this has everything you need to know about revenue bonds, prairie dog, anything that has to do with TIFT, anything to do with debts and things like that, where we're at with the as a government entity. Me, it's good reading. You, I'm not sure. But it really does have a lot of information. And then in the very back, it also has the levy limitations for park, city, county, and stuff, and school, so that you can see when we talk about the mills and the property tax and stuff. Hopefully this is going to give you some good information on where we're at and stuff, because I use this like a Bible besides my budget book. But I wanted you to know that that's why you got this nice reading on there.
And for everyone's knowledge too, the very first meeting will be a budget reforecast and a revenue projections. So.
And thank you, President Decker. Yes, that we go over where we're at, what I'm looking at for a 5-year forecast. We look at where we're at in the 6 months of our sales tax, property tax, where our cash balances are, where our debt is and stuff. And then I prepare for you a first draft of the budget of what it is. And then we go from there and cut, because it's a big one. Then the next 3 days is you're actually going to have department heads in front of you. So on that first day, you'll also see what their requests are for personnel, their capital requests, technology requests. And then from there, you're going to see what their budgets are, and individually, they will come in front of you and let you know increases, decreases, what their concerns are, what their resources are, tell you about what they do and stuff, especially with new commissioners. We want to make this as informal so that you can be prepared to ask the questions. So for the next 3 days after the first half days, I've split up general funds and then police and fire on the second day, and then enterprises are on the third day. I do like to have you pick out 4 specific dates that would work for you so I can start getting agendas out. And because we do have the commissioners together, it's a public meeting, so I have to post it. So that's why I'm looking for the 4 dates. And then a possible 5th date. That's if we would have to finalize the end, and that's where we're looking at what do we actually need for general fund transfer to balance out. Where do we need to go? What do we need to do? By then I will have a second draft to you of this is what you said to the departments that you're approving and you want to go forward, and then we look at where we're at on those things. So I will let you discuss and decide what works for the 5 of you.
Commissioners?
I have a hard commitment on the 22nd, so I couldn't be here, but the rest of the dates look good for me. So I'm pretty flexible.
Looking at my calendar right
And I should state, President Decker and Commissioners, the things that are not available on that Sunday column, those are meetings that possibly can't be changed or somebody's going to be gone. So I just know which way to turn my agenda and stuff. So don't worry about those things that are on the side. That's mostly for myself.
now. Well, if everybody's available on the 6th, I think we get that revenue forecast out of the way. Is there any conflict? That reforecast and see what our projections are.
Okay.
And then, I guess, on the 7th, I mean, if there's, since we do have a commission meeting, I don't know if you want to take that long a day.
I could put a lighter day on that one if you'd like.
I mean, 1 to 4 will go pretty fast
Mm-hmm.
when we start getting into everybody, so, and move into the commission, unless you don't want to deal with that because it is a commission day.
I think getting those first 2 days out early so that we've got a cushion built in is probably a good idea.
Any other objection to that? Okay,
So the 7th,
the 7th.
okay?
And then what are we looking for, you need 2 more days.
I need 2 more days. And you notice that on the Thursday, the 16th, is 1 full day that we could work if you want to slam the other 2 into 1 day. But it does give you a lot of area in between where I don't want you to forget what all we discussed.
Right.
You know, so that's the only thing. But I don't need you day after day after day with numbers either.
Well, I was actually thinking, I mean, is it, I will defer to the people that have to work all day. I don't. So, they have to take days off.
If it was my choice, I'd rather see us do the 7th and the 9th or something instead of the 6th. Mondays are always the first day back to work after the long holiday. I don't know. That's a tough one for me.
That's fine. I have no problem.
Have the budget forecast on the 7th since we're here anyway.
Okay.
I mean, you guys can all speak, whatever you guys think.
Well, why don't we do 7th, 8th then, just back to back, at least get those 2 out.
I'm fine with that. And then I would prefer the 16th. I'd rather do a full day than 2 more half days, but
And I'm fine with that. If I would have objected if, but the Governor's Cup got canceled, so.
So-
I will not be fishing the Governor's Cup this year, so.
So to finalize it, you're talking the 7th and the 8th and the 16th. That work for everybody?
And that gives us a cushion. That gives us at least 2 days, the 20th and the 21st, if we need more days.
Correct.
Because Commissioner Sobeluk said that she's got off on the 22nd. We fine with that, Commissioner Wallow? Commissioner Oderman? Okay. So we'll go 7, 8, and then 16.
Okay, and I do have another item under the budget
Okay.
stuff. You received also the profile of the city administrator plus the job description. And I would ask that if Shelley could come up and then explain where the list of where she wants to post them is also in there. So everything is in there.
Good evening, Mr. President, Commissioners. So the draft of the city administrator brochure, it's just a draft. If you have any suggestions or ideas, we are open to any of them. And then the next page is just a list of some of the places that we have advertised in the past. I had Ally put kind of what the pricing is if they aren't free places to advertise. And if you have any additional places that you think we need to put it, I would be open to that as well.
And then, we'll have the commission review this for approval on the 7th.
Okay?
Okay. So, and then we can get that out promptly, probably on the 8th,
Sure.
or soon after,
Yep.
once we approve it. And then if you have any suggestions, forward them to Mrs. Donovan.
And if you would like this sent electronically, if that would be easier, I can do that as well.
The only one I noticed, ZipRecruiter. Do we not use that one?
We hadn't, I mean, we sure can, but we have not been.
I mean, I think that and Indeed are the two main.
Do they charge?
I'm sure they do.
Mhm. Okay, I will make note of that.
Okay.
Thank you.
And we have a 5 o'clock, and it's 5 o'clock. So 5 o'clock public hearing, public comments. Public hearing is for the disclosure of interest form, and this will be an ordinance, 1694. Mrs. Winko, you'll be handling that?
Correct. Mr. President, Commissioners, before you is ordinance number 1694. As we had indicated and discussed last meeting, this is to require an annual disclosure of commissioners' interests, essentially to prevent any conflicts, to make the public aware of any interests. And as the interim city administrator Carlson had mentioned at the last commission meeting, the real push behind this is before auditing requirements, that the city often gets asked whether we have these forms in place. So this will alleviate that concern from an auditing standpoint. This is the second reading. There were no comments or adjusted revisions since the first reading.
Okay. Any questions for Mrs. Winko on ordinance number 1694? Hearing no questions or comments, I'll open up the public hearing. If there's anyone in the audience that has any questions or concerns on ordinance 1694, please come forward, state your name, and let us know your concerns or questions on ordinance 1694. And also for those viewing live, you may dial in. Were we still having the dial in or not?
I believe we do. I don't see it on here, but
I
I
don't
know
have I don't have the number, but
it is 456-7006.
The conference is currently empty. You will hear silence or music on hold when connected.
Okay. If anyone wishes to call in, because we are live. Anyone from the public wishes to discuss 1694, please come forward, state your name. Let us know your concerns. Anyone from the public? Seeing no one from the public has any concerns on 1694, and we have received no calls, I will close the public hearing. Commissioners, any questions, comments on 1694? This is the second reading, and second and final reading. 1694. Hearing no questions, comments for city staff, I'd look for a motion on 1694.
So moved.
We have a motion to approve 1694 by Commissioner Oderman,
Second.
second by Commissioner Walla. Any further discussion, questions? Hearing none, we'll vote. Mr. Oderman?
Aye.
Ms. Walla?
Aye.
Mr. Frederick?
Aye.
Mrs. Sobluck?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carries. That is the last item on the special meeting. Look for a motion to adjourn.
Mr. President, so move.
We have a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
We are adjourned.